When it comes to video game adaptations of classic literature, you may not have expected Dante's Inferno to be high up on that list. Dante's Inferno the poem, also known as the Divine Comedy, is a very introspective, somber tale of a man's journey through the 9 circles of hell. Dante's Inferno the game is a bloody, over-the-top hack and slasher that lets Dante explode guys with a magic cross. Suffice it to say, some poetic licenses were taken, but they actually do work in context. No one was really expecting a faithful retelling here. Just know that Dante tearing hell apart to get his true love back is a simple story that keeps the action moving.
Beatrice! I have to go with him, my love.
A large part of what makes Dante unique from other God of War type games is its visual style. The game is not for kids. All manners of torture, gore, and female and male nudity is accounted for here.
Looking for someone?
They're really pushing the M rating. In some areas, these mature concepts actually work very well. You almost pity the agony that the souls of the damned have to suffer through. However, other parts are just so over the top and ludicrous, you feel like the developers are just doing it because they can. There's a fine line between atmosphere and exploitation, and Dante keeps passing between the two. The more exploitative parts just feel a little sloppy by comparison. On the plus side, the graphics are pretty good, and the circles of hell are very distinct. With that said, I could do without all the muted red and brown colors. Sure, I know it's hell, but it doesn't mean that you have to punish the player's eyes too. The story is told through an interesting combination of in-game cutscenes, detailed CG movies, and animated sequences. It's a cool creative mix, even if it's sometimes a little jarring to switch between the three. And we should mention that the PS3 owners will also get a bunch of bonus content that's not available on the 360. Now both games are identical, but the PS3 comes with a digital version of the poem, the soundtrack, and some behind-the-scenes movies. This game is going to get a lot of comparisons to God of War, and for very good reason. If you know how to play God of War, then you know how to play Dante. This is not particularly a bad thing, it's just not very unique. Your main mode of attack is Dante's Scythe, but you also get the option to either absolve or punish enemies after wearing them down. Doing either will give you holy or unholy points that you can then use to upgrade your powers. It's good that you can customize your character, but the downside is that you'll farm weak characters over and over without having to attack them once. It's not very exciting to push one button to essentially eliminate 70% of the opponents you face. A better addition are the relics, magic objects that give you certain abilities like regenerative magic, damage bonuses, stuff like that. At least they add a nice layer of depth to the combat. In terms of the game itself, there's also a bunch of platforming that gives some much needed variety. Most of the puzzles are fairly decent, with the lone exception being this baffling Escher-type room in Gluttony that's really badly designed and will probably be banned from an actual circle of hell. Dante's Inferno is a good action game, but it feels like you've played it before. The underlying combat is still fun, and the presentation is strong. The game is just not quite what it could have been. From the looks of things, EA wants to make this into a franchise. Hopefully, the developers will be able to figure out a way to make this game stand out from the God of Wars of the world. For the full written review, head over to IGN.com.